The Catholic Church is experiencing remarkable growth in Africa. Across the continent, more and more people are choosing to join the faith. This trend is impossible to ignore. With a population nearing 1.5 billion, Africa is home to a rapidly expanding number of Catholics. In fact, over 280 million Africans now identify as Catholic. This represents a significant portion of the global Catholic population. The surge in African Catholics is even more dramatic when considering new converts. In 2022 alone, over half of the 13 million people who became Catholic were from Africa. This vibrant growth is transforming the church. Africa is no longer simply a mission field. It's a place where the faith is deeply rooted and dynamically evolving. The church's future will be shaped, in no small part, by the energy and commitment of African Catholics. When the time comes to elect a new pope, the decision rests in the hands of the cardinals. These esteemed figures, often referred to as the princes of the church, gather in Rome for a conclave. Their task is to choose the next leader of the Catholic Church. Among the 135 cardinals eligible to vote in the next conclave, 18 are African. This represents a significant voting bloc, giving Africa a strong voice in the selection process. Never before have there been so many African cardinals. This growing influence reflects the changing demographics of the church. As the number of African Catholics increases, so too does their representation in the College of Cardinals. This shift in power dynamics has led many to believe that the next pope could very well be from Africa. Pope Francis, throughout his papacy, has shown a deep and abiding interest in Africa. He understands the continent's challenges and potential. Unlike some of his predecessors, Pope Francis has made Africa a clear priority. He embarked on 5 separate trips to Africa during his 12 years as Pope. These journeys took him to 10 different countries, allowing him to experience firsthand the diversity and vibrancy of the continent. Pope Francis's engagement with Africa went beyond symbolic visits. He actively sought to incorporate African traditions into the church. In 2019, he celebrated a Mass at St. Peter's Basilica that incorporated elements of Congolese culture. This gesture was widely seen as a sign of respect and recognition for the richness of African Catholicism. Pope Francis's background as a Latin American leader has given him a unique understanding of the global South. He shares with many African nations the experience of colonialism, economic disparity, and the struggle for social justice. This shared heritage has created a sense of solidarity between Pope Francis and many African leaders. They see in him a leader who understands their challenges and aspirations. Pope Francis' emphasis on the plight of the poor and marginalized has resonated deeply in Africa, where issues of poverty and inequality are often acute. His message of compassion and social justice has found a receptive audience in many parts of the continent. Pope Francis's teachings have been met with a mixed reception in Africa. While many have embraced his message of mercy and inclusivity, others have expressed reservations. Some African Catholics appreciate Pope Francis's willingness to adapt church teachings to local customs and traditions. They see it as a sign of respect and a recognition of the universality of the faith. However, there are also those who find some of his pronouncements at odds with deeply held African values, particularly on matters of family and sexuality. This tension highlights the complex relationship between the Vatican and the African Church. It underscores the challenges of leading a global faith with diverse cultural and theological perspectives. While Pope Francis has championed a more progressive agenda, focusing on social justice, environmentalism, and interreligious dialogue, some anticipate a shift in direction under the next papacy. There is a growing belief that the next pope could adopt a more conservative stance. This prediction is rooted in the understanding that the Church often operates like a pendulum, swinging between periods of reform and retrenchment. A more conservative successor to Pope Francis might resonate with the views of many African Catholics. They tend to be more traditional in their beliefs, particularly on issues related to family marriage and sexual morality. The possibility of an African pope is no longer a distant dream, but a growing likelihood. Several factors contribute to this belief. The Catholic Church's rapid growth in Africa, the increasing number of African Cardinals, and Pope Francis's clear focus on the continent all point towards Africa's rising influence. Moreover, the Church is actively seeking leaders who understand the challenges and opportunities of the developing world. Africa, with its youthful population and vibrant faith, represents the future of the Church in many ways. An African Pope would be a powerful symbol of the Church's universality and its commitment to serving the needs of all people, regardless of their background or origin. The possibility is a testament to the dynamism of the African Church and its growing importance in the global Catholic community.